van posipiti, mama papa presti, ya sa suma. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a VeVe OMI DEFINITY DEVVE DACAT update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, smashing the super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. Thank you, Bill Gardner, for giving me those dabs. I had a... I don't want to deal with that right now. I was on another channel before for about an hour and a half, so excuse me if my voice is going to be a little hoarse. It was, I'm looking for it, on Collect and Connect. So the Collect and Connect channel, I was on there for a couple hours, and we had a nice little chat about VeVe, DACAT, Pokemon, and other stuff. So I'm just letting y'all know that is what, yes, it was a cool story. Yeah, maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. Anyway, we do have a couple things to go over. VeVe announcements, Omi burns. Okay, let's take a look at, well, they officially announced Avatar, which is really cool. I don't think they gave us any article, but it's a week, it's like 9 days away because it comes out on the 14th. Comes out on Pi Day. Avatar comes out on Pi Day, 3/14/2026. So we'll get that. Is that a Friday? It's a Saturday. There might be other things happening that weekend. We have a DEFINITY AMA on that Friday. It's going to be such a busy weekend. I'm not a friend's birthday that weekend. It's going to be very busy. I don't know how long or how many times I'm going to be live that weekend, but we will see. And then we're still waiting on we did get an update. If you missed yesterday's show, it was an update about NASDAQ. There's another update today that I'm going to go over. It's just saying that, yeah, we missed by the 28th, both VeVe and ORKT wanted to finalize that merger. They are both still committed to doing it. It's just going to take a little more time. They weren't specific on how much more time. Although, that being said, I don't know if it was yesterday. I love this game. Sorry. Jesus. Guys, if y'all are, just go get a YouTube channel and just talk about stuff. Heck is happening over here, over there. I can't find exactly where it is. It might have been 2 days ago at this point. But basically, if you have ORKT shares, like shares in that company, you can go on and you can vote. And you can vote to vote on whether they merge with VeVe or not. Now, the votes don't really matter because depending on how many votes you have, or how many shares you have, depending on how many votes you get. So it's like, okay, well, if enough shareholders go in and vote against the merger, then it doesn't happen, right? Well, yeah, you would be right. But if you go and take a look at actually who has the most shares, two people that have the most shares are Qianhua Guo and Lei Hua Wang, who each hold approximately 32% of the company. So even if every other person that holds shares says, no, we don't want to do it, the two largest shareholders, which hold about 64% of the company, they'll be like, yeah, no, this is going to happen. So again, you can go make your voice heard if you don't want it to happen for whatever reason. But again, it's not really going to matter. The votes are really just symbolic at that point because these two, well, apparently they are very committed to having the merger happen. You're going to be able to go get that bread. They are not even close to that, unless they had an amazing. Yeah, no, there's no way. They currently have a $6.4 million market cap. You can get that. It can get to there. It's got to go to $3, but yeah, it can totally get there if it goes to $3, which might be a lot. Again, it does seem that what they're doing is going to lead to that. But once it goes through, it won't be ORKT that'll go that to that market cap. It depends on what they. It depends on what they have for VeVe. or it depends on what VeVe's valued at, and it also depends. Like I don't for ORKT, they might have a couple $1 million in the. They actually might. I think if you look at it, I think I might be able to take a look here. Give me one sec. I'm sorry. I'm looking for the. They should have a little bit of money over on their balance sheet that VeVe should be able to take control of. Their quant ranking is really low. 4123 out of 4287, ranked in industry 28 out of 31. The revenues are actually not bad. It's a couple million per year. Have been going less year over year. Gross margin, profitability, net margin. Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking for how much money they have, and I don't think I have the numbers. I don't think it's there. Previous closers. Oh no, they have a couple $1 million in cash. So now, granted, they do have a little bit of debt, but it's not that bad. Like again, that company has $4 million in cash, so VeVe can probably take a little bit of that and do what they probably should do. I mean, if it's $4 million in cash, let's say you keep $3 million, for operations, but then you take $1 million, get an extra $150K a year. They go with my guy. It would only be about $12,000 a month that they could get with that, but still, that just comes to them at 12.5. Yeah, so I think that, and that again, that's not really a ton of money when talking about this, but just that recurring income that can go on their balance sheet, which again, if it goes to every quarter, you're getting an extra $37,500 going to your bottom line. Now that would count, I guess, as like a drop, right? Because they do some drops that do that. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to David about that. But anyway, so they're going to get access to whatever's on their balance sheet, which again is a couple $1 million, not bad. I think that David can do certain things with that money. But we don't know what they're going to be valued at. Like VeVe, yeah, it could be valued at like 20 million. It could be valued at 50 million. I don't know what they're going to do. Usually you'd want it to have it low so that this way it has room to grow. And then other people, like again, let's say the company's worth 50 million and you want it to be worth 15 million. Like that's the price that you can get shares at. Well, then if you know it's worth 50 and it comes out at 15 million and you're getting the price, like let's say they do it at a dollar, right? They do it at $1 per share, 15 million shares out there outstanding. It's like, okay, you can buy as many shares as you want because the real value is, and again, we don't really know, but they were worth a couple billion last cycle, right? So it's got to be in the tens of it, maybe 9 figures. I mean, obviously everything went crazy down in price, but listen, guys, if they're coming out at like 18, 20 million, I'm gonna buy it as much as I freaking can because that's an insanely low valuation, in my opinion. And again, that's just what I'm doing. Obviously, none of this is financial advice, but yeah, that's just how I would see it. But again, we have to go and see what they're valued at, what the share price is. It should go the ORKT price again. It's gonna. I don't know if they're gonna renew the ticker, make it like VOMI or something like that. I don't know. We're not sure. Bill Gardner giving those dabs. This is a cool story, bruh. Samuel 86. Well, as a little horse, my little pony confirmed. This day was going to be perfect. Oh my god, My Little Pony would be great. Hasbro would be great. They would get obviously Transformers. They would get GI Joe. Go Joe. They would get and again My Little Pony, and they're kind of badass. Like there's certain episodes where like Twilight and the gang, they kick some butt. I mean, Rainbow Dash in general, like her Sonic Rain Boom, she can go like what, like Mach 8? Like she like take anybody in Transformers and she can go faster than them. Like she can go exceedingly fast, faster than any Transformer can. And again, Twilight's magic. Like I would put the main six against the Decepticons or the Autobots. Like, and I think the main six would win. One, Pinky can bend the reality of space time and physics. Twilight's magic. Well, I guess so is Rarity. Not as powerful. It's not an Alicorn, but and again, Rainbow Dash is a black belt. She can go again. Like, what is Rainbow Dash's top speed? When she goes Sonic Rain Boom, she breaks the sound barrier. What is Rainbow Dash's top speed? Mach 5.5. Some calculations suggesting speeds up to 7,600 miles per hour. Oh, I think that's a lot, but all right, Mach 5.5. Okay. How fast is Mach 5? Let's just say 5. 3,800 miles. Okay, so yeah, she's insanely faster than top speed of, let's do Starscream. And he can only go Mach 2.8. So yeah, you have twice as fast. It's insane. Anywho, Croner, give me those dabs again. you and Bill Gardner. I just mentioned the ORKT. Crazy on 420s. Cryptoys are now named Digitoys, apparently, because regular people are afraid of crypto. One, thank you for being a member, and yeah, that. So I guess we'll talk about that. They had rebranded. I don't know if they were bought by Pudgy Penguins or by Abstract Chain. Obviously, they're on Abstract Chain now. And yeah, Cryptoys, probably a good rebrand. One, because I don't know if that's the first thing I would have done, but I'm trying to think of another example like that makes it so that in the Mighty Ducks show, like the new show that they had out the last few years, where Lauren Graham, one of my favorite actresses ever, she plays the mom of this kid named like Josh or something. I forget the name. And there's this scene where it's like, dude, like your kid sucks. The rest of these kids suck. Like don't even bother. So they named their team like the Don't Bothers, which is stupid. But yeah, I get it. They name their team that, they get jerseys made, they get stuff like that, and then the town can't have two competing teams because like the main town wants to be the Ducks. They want to be the Ducks as well, and they do. They spoilers. They go there and they do it. They win and they rebrand as the Mighty Ducks because the Don't Bothers were associated with a bunch of losers. The Don't Bothers were associated with people that really were written off and forgotten about. And then what happens? When you want to rebrand, you want to rebrand as something that people like. Cryptoys, for some of the good things that they had going for them, they went like 8 months without a drop or something like that. They didn't make money for like ever, and it's like, any investor worth their salt's going to be like, I'm not touching that. But again, you have some valuable IP. You did have a little bit of community there. I don't know how well the secondary market was going, but enough was there for a deal to be worked out where they could be bought, they could be whatever. And again, like going in, you're not going to be able to compete with VeVe at their level, but you don't need to. Like the space is likely going to be very, very big, and yeah, VeVe's going to be the biggest winner, but you can be number 3 or 4 and still make a ton of money. So I think that's what a lot of these guys are betting on. to fight for second place. Yeah, maybe they even do that because Pudgy Penguins is great. And, you know, like now that Pudgy Penguins is kind of with them, then you have, excuse me 1 second. Take you off there. Gonna put you on my telefono. Maybe Pudgy saw an idea like, okay, you have Star Wars, you have Masters of the Universe, you have, I think they have other things, other licenses as well. I forget what they are. But it's like now Pudgy Penguins can do like crossovers with these guys. And to them that was worth it because to get those licenses are very hard to do. So the fact that they got them and they have access to those licenses, that's really good for Pudgy Penguins. So they might not even have bought them for the original Cryptoys thing. They might have bought them just so that Pudgy Penguins can get the next leg up, which I think would be great. So and there's I'm in a group chat and I'm not gonna mother fudger. So there was a gift that was sent yesterday, 2 days ago, and I was like, "What's this gift from?" It just said like, it was called like, "Come at me, bro," and I was like, "What is that?" That's fun. And apparently, if you type it in, where you type in the gift space in Facebook Messenger, "Fight me," there's a couple of things that come up, and one of them is that little thing, but also 2 of which are Pudgy Penguins. And it's like, I didn't expect that. I was like, "Are those Pudgy Penguins?" And yeah, it has Pengu on them, and I was like, "That's really interesting. That's cool." So whatever they're doing, again, they might have bought Cryptoys specifically for the licenses. It might not even been their platform making that money on that. Give me 1 sec. Okay. Fuck. Sorry, guys. Dude, people are so fucking weird. Like they're very weird. Which is fine, mostly, but sometimes it's not. Anyway, yeah. So they have the old name, and maybe they don't want to be associated. Like, hey, we're rebranding. We don't want to be associated with 1, the failed platform, and then 2, yeah, crypto. Let's face it, nobody's really made any money in crypto. You could have a company that works with crypto and has a crypto token, like let's say like Definity, where the company's just crushing it. The token, though, what, down like 80%? VeVe, same thing. Company crushing it. Token down like 90 something percent from all-time highs. You know, DEVVE and FIAS, kind of the same thing. Their companies are doing insane things with tech and AI and partnerships. Tokens crashed on beyond belief. DACAT's like one of the only ones where from April of last year they're actually up. Shout out to DACAT. But yeah, the companies can be doing really well, and the cryptos are just doing god awful. So again, the last few years, nobody's really made any money with that. So you don't want to be associated with something that's lost people money, at least on paper. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, sorry, got the hydration, water, creatine, so good. And yeah, I mean, DigiToys, that's about as good of a name as VeVe's Friend Get Friend. And I don't mean that in a super horrible way. I mean that in like, yeah, it's interesting. You're gonna remember it. Like I remember Friend Get Friend, for better or worse. I'm going to remember that name. And DigiToys, it's interesting. Collab, obviously, digital toys. That's cool. It doesn't mention NFTs. It doesn't mention crypto. Yeah, that's interesting. Again, I probably would have picked a different name, but what they have is fine. They rebrand it, and again, yeah, a lot of people are not that happy with crypto. Ah, Dr. Digital. I was just on your show. I just showed your YouTube. Huge thank you for coming on the stream today. It was great. Had a lot of fun. Talking about Pokemon and VeVe and other stuff. It was good. I gave you my all, and now I'm not gonna lie, I'm on the struggle bus. My back hurts. Hi there, hey. Saying OMI was a way of investing in the company. When people are able to actually invest in the company, what's OMI's angle? Pros, cons now. Cheers. Yeah, I mean, OMI was a way of helping fund it. OMI was a way of going in and saying like, and again, like if you bought in like the pre-sale or like 2019, 2020, whatever, you're still up because you got in at quad zeros. If you didn't sell when it was at a penny, probably big mad. If you, but yeah, also you wanted to go in and you wanted to buy in. Why? Because it was it's a great freaking company. Like again, you want to buy because of the initial utility of being able to buy collectibles with it. And now they brought pretty much every utility they had back plus more. So regardless of whether they go public or not, but obviously in the scenario they are, let's say in the scenario they do go public, what's the point of buying the token? You still need to go in and buy, like, you want to buy a partner statue, cool. But I don't want to use crypto. Okay, you can buy a partner statue. It's going to be $2,000. Okay, that's the price. That's the price if you don't pay with crypto. What's the price if I pay with crypto? Less than 1,000. What? Yeah. If you don't want to pay with crypto, you can do it. You're gonna pay $2,000 for a partner statue. And I'm not saying that won't be worth it eventually everywhere, but yeah, right now you can get a partner statue for under $1,000 if you pay with crypto. I think the savings of $1,000 for most people would be like, you know what? Let me figure this out. And you figure it out. So if you want to buy these collectibles at a much cheaper rate, you're gonna go in and do it, and you're gonna get crypto. That's just so that's a big reason. The other reason is because everyone's gonna want it. They're gonna want the token associated with this company because some people are crypto rich and they want to keep their funds in crypto. And they're like, yeah, I don't want to cash out and pay all these taxes. Now, this is, I'll explain their mindset and then I'll tell you why it's wrong, but why it'll still happen anyway. Feel like, no, if I bring it into a bank account, it's all taxable, it's all whatever. I keep it in crypto, it's fine. And that's what they'll do. They'll go in and they'll say, yeah, I'm just going to keep it in crypto, cash out ETH for OMI. That's very simple. I don't want to cash out ETH for fiat, open up these, all these fees, all these trading stuff like a TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, like whatever. Just simpler to keep it in crypto. I'll just buy the token. Not realizing that the government, as feckless as they are not always completely incompetent, and they are catching up. And if you haven't paid taxes on crypto these last few years, you're going to get bit in the ass by the biggest bullet bill that you've ever seen. The government will get its money. I promise you the government is going to get its money. And you think, yeah, if I keep it in crypto, I'll just, no one's going to know. I promise you the government's going to know. At some point they will. It'll catch up with you. Yeah, but anyway, those people still exist. Those people are still going to be like, yeah, I'm just going to buy the crypto. And it's going to go nuts. And I don't think anyone's really into it for the MCP points anymore. They might need to rework that because, yeah, like if you have 10 million in crypto on the stacker, you get MCP points. When was the last time anyone used MCP points? Anyone? Bueller? It's been a while. So I don't think people are going to do that. I think if they want people to buy the token, yes, the burns are great. Buying with and OMI to gem. It's like, okay, well, I have OMI. And again, like I just said before, maybe you don't want to use, you don't want to cash out your crypto. You can just buy OMI and then convert it to gems. And 7% of what you buy burns. And it's not like, hey, I pay $100. You mean I only get $93 worth of gems? No, you get $100 worth of gems. VeVe is just awesome. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna take some profits out of our bottom line, and it's gonna go to burns. Bravo to VeVe for that. I don't know if they really had to do that, but they did. And yeah, that's a big one. But again, the MCP, I don't think people are really buying OMI for MCP because there's not a lot of reasons to have a bunch of MCP. Maybe to get level 100. Okay, what do you get for that now? The first hundreds, they were going crazy. They were getting these exclusive things. You don't really get that for level 100 anymore. I know someone that got to level 100. He didn't even get a shout out on the VeVe, like Twitter page. So it's yeah, there's less incentive to buy OMI for MCP to get to level 100 to do that. They're probably going to have to do some type of workaround with that, which again, they're super busy with this merger here now. I don't know how much of the time is going to be spent on the token in the next couple of months. I think what's really going to pump the token is a lot of those, is one, money coming into the ecosystem, getting a lot of users, people buying it just in order to get the collectibles on Stacker for cheaper. So they're going to do that. You're going to have more burns. People that have extra OMI will do the OMI to gems, because like when Avatar comes out, let's say if you're, you don't have an extra ton of money, you don't want to put in fiat, especially now because they do a bunch of taxes up front because the governments of the world all suck. Yeah, instead of paying $121 for $100 worth of gems, maybe you just buy OMI and then you do OMI to gem, and $100 gets you 100 gems, and again it burns, so you're much more incentivized to do that. I think there's going to be a lot of people that still buy the token just because of the narrative, the stuff coming in, and just from that, regardless of what VeVe does or doesn't. And again, they're about to be listed on NASDAQ, hopefully. And if they do, maybe they use that excuse. Yeah, we very much Web 2 now. We have a whatnot. We were going to try to get into more fidgetals. Like maybe they want to step away from the token. Or the opposite happens and they just go balls in and they're just like, yeah, now we have an OMI balance sheet treasury, and they talk about it on every earnings call. Like, again, I doubt they do that, but it could be somewhere in between. So I haven't sold any of my OMI. I have used a bit. I've used like a lot. And also, so listen, we had a partner statue sell before. I check this a dozen times a day, if not more, the price of a partner statue. Why? Because I like it. And there was one that sold before for like 7 million OMI. Guys, if you want to sell your partner statue for 7 million OMI, I'll buy it right now. Every single one of y'all, the 67 people out here, I will buy them all right now. 7 million OMI, I will buy that all day. But yeah, they bought it. Somebody listed it. It sold in like 2 seconds, and now the floor price is 8.17 million OMI. Yeah. So I'm not gonna buy another partner statue there. But yeah, I've got a few partner statues. I got a bunch of comics that I've been buying. So I have spent quite a bit of OMI, like been like 10, 20 million OMI. It's been a lot. Mostly comics. I haven't really bought any collectibles. And be advised, like I'm gonna do a video on this at some point. I have a stream tomorrow with more of the Crisao floating head NFT movie, where they're apparently doing pretty well in LA. Like they're doing pretty well there, and they're hopefully gonna get to New York. Let me know if they missed those good times. Yep. So let me know if you guys are in New York and you want to go to a movie to see the NFT horror movie. I think that would be cool. Again, they are doing pretty well in LA, so I'm hoping they get that bread. Hold on. Apparently, shoot. Recent activity. 1 second here, because I have a comment. But yeah, that's the OMI stuff. Booth says crypto is the way. Show me the way. Ang's gonna moon on secondary immediately. Will he? Will he? I don't know. I did buy. Oh, did I buy Echo 712? I know I bought a couple of partner statues over the last month or so. I didn't know who I bought it from, but if it was from you, yeah, good stuff. Like, there's one I bought a month ago for 6.5 million OMI. There's one I bought 28 days ago for 6.69 million OMI. I'm comment nice down below with 69. And then I bought a 3-digit 7 days ago for 8 million OMI. It was a 3-digit. Like, it's like, well, Chavez, I thought you didn't want to buy anything, above 7, and 8 million OMI is pretty close to 8.17. Why don't you buy this one? Because it was a 3-digit, so I had to get it. I actually have it listed for 13 million OMI. I don't really expect anyone to buy it right now, but that is the cheapest 3-digit that's on there right now. So if you want. Anyway, where am I at? Where am I going? Oh yeah, talk about Ang. Ang is gonna. I mean, when we saw the Ang collectible, there's 2005 of him. I don't know if that was just a placeholder number. 40 gems. I don't know if it was gonna. Yeah. I don't know. Again, $1,000 bounty for the number 2005 because Ang's awesome. He's not really my favorite character though. I was actually talking with my friend Ty, who believes that Ang and Toph hooked up. He's just a hater. He's just a very weird person with very weird taste. But yeah, no, Ang is actually not my favorite. Toph is my favorite. From the OG crowd. Appa's really cool, Momo's cool, but yeah, Toph. I mean, they're all cool. Like, I love them all. I would say my favorite as far as team avatar goes, Toph, Sokka. I don't know if I like Aang or Katara better. Because Aang, despite him sometimes being a bitch and not wanting to unalive people that deserve it, he does have some really cool moments. Like, he's fun and free-spirited, and I gotta give him credit for for standing on business and not changing his principles, even though his principles are sometimes really freaking stupid. Yeah, even after he goes to his past lives, his other avatar selves, and he's like, "Did you kill?" And they're like, "Hell yeah, I killed." Like, they're like, Avatar Kyoshi has hundreds, if not thousands, of bodies. I don't mean like sexually, maybe that too. I mean, like, she killed so many people. Yeah, and that's dope. But again, aside from him not doing that, he's a wicked powerful bender. Like when he takes on the Fire Nation at the North Pole, with like tidal, like, I don't know why the Fire Nation thought they could take a water, like, they're surrounded by water. Just that was insane. Anyway, and then aside when Appa gets taken, like Appa he gets kidnapped, he gets air bison napped. The Sandbenders commit Grand Theft Bison. They take him. So they're in like this library trying to figure out how to defeat the Fire Lord, and Toph is trying to like hold up the building that they're in because it's sinking. It's going down. I'm yelling timber. Sorry, love that song. And then these Sandbenders are trying to take Appa, and Toph is like, she's trying to fight him off, but if she does, the building's gonna fall. So she's like crying as she, like, because she knows that Appa's, God knows what they're doing to him. And then they try. Appa's lost for a while. You go into even Appa's lost days, like, where he just, oh my God, it's like animal. It's like awful. That should come with a fucking trigger warning for animal abuse. Like, it is for an animal lover, like someone that's dedicated his life to saving endangered species. And like, I don't talk about this a lot, but before I joined the military, I had a whole ass career where I spent the better part of a decade working in animal hospitals for like no money, because that's what I did. And anyway, they show his lost days. They show like how horrible they were treating him. And then Aang finds out. And he's like, Aang is tweaking, bro. Like Aang is going through all this, like, you muzzled Appa? Dude goes Super Saiyan. Dude, like, when he finds out that they muzzled, like, they were like whipping him, like they were beating him, right? But he just like freaked, like, was he Victoria Justice in 2009? This came out before then, but he freaked the freak out. F you, Avatar State. I was like, oh my God, is Aang gonna kill someone? Spoilers, he doesn't. But like, for a New York minute, I'm just like, Aang's gonna kill people. Like, Aang's gonna, like, get him, Aang, get him. My teenage angst was just like, get him, murder him. And then he does. Katara like calms him down. She does like the Natasha, the sun's getting real low, big guy. Like she does to Bruce Banner. Calms him down, but yeah, that was a really cool scene. Even in Legend of Korra, he's got I wouldn't say like an Oscar moment or anything, but in Legend of Korra, there's this guy named Among, Poopy Butt. Anyway, there's like this villain that can bloodbend without the need of a full moon, and he's bloodbending everyone in the courtroom, and he's bloodbending Aang, and then Aang's just like, "F you, Avatar State," and it takes away his bending. It was dope. It was great. So yeah, Aang's got some wicked good moves. But yeah, he might be my least favorite. And so again, Aang might be my least favorite, and that's all of like the epic stuff that he's done. And that's why I'm putting $1,000 bounty for his number 2005. Like, and again, he's like probably my least favorite. He might be above Katara. I don't know. I really don't like for his negatives, and there are a few, and I've gone over a few of them. Yeah, I don't know. Both him and Katara are. Again, there's no bad characters really in the first on Team Avatar. There's no like, okay, I like these people, but this one's annoying. No, like there's none of that. They're, oh God, so good. Anyway, but Toph though, I'm gonna go crazy hard on Toph. Freaking love her. Oh, so you bought my partner. Oh, it was the 3-digit. Yeah. So listen, this is what I tell people. This is what actually I was on the phone with, or I was on live with Dr. Fidgetal. And I think I've talked about that here before. AOC voted against releasing sexual harassment records of members of Congress. That is freaking wild. I don't know, like as a woman, you'd especially want that to pass. But anyway, when we had, the partner stats, like, so again, I check those listings like at least every hour. There are some times where I'm like at the gym, I'm in a meeting, I'm doing whatever. Maybe I can't get into a couple hours. There's sometimes I check multiple times per hour where I go back and forth on the stuff that I really like. Now, again, like partner stat, like everyone knows Mickey. Everyone knows Walt is like, where do you want to go? I used to be a big thing at the end of the Super Bowl. I'm going to Disney World, I don't know what they do now, but that's not my favorite collectible. Like that, it's not. I like Ice King, and again, we're just going personal likes, nothing to do with money. I like Ice King better than the partner statue. I like my Squirrel Girl comics better than partner statue because I don't really have that big of a connection to Mickey. Walt, maybe a little bit, yeah. Yeah, I like Walt. I understand his struggle, his story. I understand a lot of what he went through. So yeah, Walt's cool. But again, as far as like make-believe creatures, Mickey's not my favorite. I didn't really watch a lot of Mickey's stuff. I mean, Fantasia, I guess. I think. I remember watching Winnie the Pooh. I watched a few Winnie the Pooh things. There's like a movie called like Skull Mountain, something like that. I watched that a bunch of times when I was a kid. That was a good movie. I don't know if it holds up at all. the reason why I get partner statues and why I want to, and I'm probably going to get more, is because it's, again, one of the most important NFTs in the world, and it's super special for so many reasons. Mickey to me is, respect what he's done, mostly through Walt, but you know, whatever. But yeah, that's why I check it, because if there's ever any deal, you know, it happens. But again, I didn't check it for like an hour or two or whatever. But 6 minutes after you posted it, I get a mess, or like 4 or 5 minutes after you posted that, somebody messaged me. It's like, Randy, there's a 3-digit on the floor. Fudge. I immediately go and I buy it. Because again, a 3-digit on the floor, like, had to do it. Because if I didn't, somebody else was going to. And that's what I mean when I was talking to Dr. Fidgetal before, that the people that message you stuff, again, I don't have to do legwork. I don't have to, like, information flows to me. And this is why everyone should get a YouTube channel and start talking about VeVe and OMI. Or any other project that has this amount of money flowing through it. Because if you do, you're probably going to get people and fans that just like the way you talk, and they like the way you explain things, and maybe they're just bored and they're just like, you know what, I'm going to watch Randy today because there's nothing else better to do. Sometimes it snows, stuff goes out, you can't, you know. So I get information flowing to me at an insane rate, and it's not just about VeVe and OMI. It's about everything. But yeah, I got lucky that somebody messaged me. Oh, Randy, 3-digit on the floor, get it, and I did. So yeah, that was great. If you're ever in another jam and you have another, like, it doesn't even need to be a 3-digit. You want to put a partner statue on the floor right now for 7 million? I will buy every single heckin' one of them. Every single one. Also, we just had a Simba sell for $1,000. The floor is like $14. Why the heck is Simba going for $1,000 here? Okay, we're gonna go over these, see what type of well, it was number 94. So it was a 2-digit, but I don't see why a 2-digit would go for that. Yeah, because there's another 2-digit, number 93, that's there for $237. Now, did Lion King come out in 94? I think it did. Year did. Yeah, it came. Okay, so maybe that's why, because it came out in June of 94. So getting the number 94, yeah, I see that. The number 1994, I think, would be worth stupid money. But yeah, that's a fun little thing. Let me take a picture of that. So somebody deemed it worthy. The 1994, sorry, the number 94 Simba, and there's a Timon and Pumbaa here that went for $700. I bet you this was number 94 as well. And it was number 94. Okay, so yeah, you got your Timon and Pumbaa. Did I get that one in the shot? Let's see if I did. Yeah, I did. For 5.8 million OMI. $700. So yeah, wild stuff. And I'm guessing Rafiki and Scar, same thing. How much money is this freaking 400 for it? So 800, so 1,500. So this mother flapper spent $2,500. Okay, hold the freaking phone. We're gonna repost this. Someone just spent 2.5K on the mint number 94 Lion King. Oh gosh, Lion King golden moment and other collectibles that came out on at VeVe and Stacker. Let's talk about it. $ OMI. So that's about OMI. That's cool. Okay. So they got the Simba, the Timon and Pumbaa, the Rafiki, and the Scar. Is there any other? Because if they don't have that, I think hold on. There are a bunch of Lion King comics, and I did not realize that. Oh, they had the Disney pencil. The Disney pencil. Okay, yeah. Which I don't think anyone would care about the number 94 with that. But okay, that was the four that made up the set. It was Simba, Rafiki, and then the pencil. But they got all of them. They got the Timon and Pumbaa, got the Simba, the Rafiki, the Scar. They did it. Good for them. Good for them. Anyway, that was what they did. Bitcoin down to 71,000. Heather, hey, when do you think the next alt season is? OMI included. I mean, it seems like the bear market will end nearing the end of year, and then slowly back up we go. 2021, me is hurting. Did not think we'd be here. I didn't think we'd be here either. That's hard to say. Could you have to wait another 3 years? I don't know. You might have to. Or Clarity Act can pass next month in April, maybe May. Jerome Powell gets out. I mean, it's possible that you get some insane rate cuts. And again, war can be good for the economy. Trump's going to want to put those money printers on. I think by summer, yeah, Bitcoin and ETH start going up in a meaningful way. And then towards the end of the year, I think you can get an alt season. And VeVe and OMI could be one of the ones that start it. Or it could not happen until next year. So you might have another 18 months before this goes. I mean, it could be anything. I mean, crypto's just been wrecked like for like near half a decade now. And I'm not seeing much that changes that right away. Again, the things that should get a lot of money in lowered rates and the Clarity Act passed. And that could be really good. You could possibly have a really big bull market for them later this year for the top cryptos. And then that money should flow into alts. So, I mean, it's possible that you started, getting it later this year, end of the year, into alt season. It's possible that even if alt season starts, you don't get it. You don't get an OMI run until next year. It's hard to say. Or because of what we get with NASDAQ, if it comes to that, we could go and get like a big freaking pump just because of that. So, anyone's guess. Momo, dude, I was Lost Days was crazy, bro. That was wild. That was hard. Boo says I was into circus. He was into. Yeah, I know. Aang is only your least favorite because you have a crush on Korra. Well, I love Korra. And Korra, yeah, I like Korra. I know Avatar, better show, but Korra is just that was, to me, I like that show better. I like that they're older. I like that they have a little bit more older situations. They go into relationships. They go into it just feels like more's on the line. Random guy, Zach Keeley is? Yeah, he's a friend. Served with him for years. Yeah, he's a friend. Do you know him? I mean, obviously you know him. He was actually on the podcast once too. He actually wrote me a song one day. See if I can find it. Randy Chavez. Yeah, podcast 169 with Zach Keeley. Oh, I actually had him on twice. 25 and 169. I had him on twice. So yeah, he's I served with him back in the day. He's a good dude. I don't think I deployed. No, I didn't deploy with him, but I think he was in one of the places that I was. I know. I mean, just yeah, we have we've had good times. Let me know how you know him. Yeah. Okay, where are burning up? Meow 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 meow. I'll show you a picture I have. Oh no, I don't. Me and Zach, and then our friend Gutherman and Lida. Lida's the bald one at the end. But yeah, there's me and Zach, my man. Let's go through other stuff here. The announcements, we did that. Let's go to the rest of the articles that we'd have to read. Grants, veterans. David Zaslav sells $114 million worth of Warner Bros. Discovery stock after WBD clinches Paramount Skydance deal. He's betting that it's not going to be good. David Zaslav, president and CEO of Warner Bros. Discovery, filed to sell just over $114 million worth of stock in the company. His sale of the shares comes less than a week after WBD clinched a deal to sell itself to Paramount Skydance for $31 per share after Netflix walked away from its deal for Warner Bros. Zaslav is selling 4,004,149 shares of Warner Bros. Discovery stock with an aggregate market value of $114,118,246 per an SEC filing from the company on Tuesday. Date of the stock sale was listed on March 3rd. Shares Zaslav sold were granted from January 23rd through February 26th as part of his employment agreement with Warner Bros. Discovery. Zaslav had additional stock and options in WBD that will remain viable and eligible for vesting in the event Paramount Skydance's $111 billion deal require the company closes under the terms of WBD's amend contracts for Zaslav and other top brass in November. With the sale of Warner Bros. Discovery, Zaslav will have a net worth that has been estimated to be more than $1 billion. Recent years, Zaslav has been one of the most highly compensated execs in media and entertainment biz. In 2024, his package, his pay package, stop, don't say dirty, it's too easy. His pay package rose 4.4% to $51.9 million. That includes a base salary of $3 million, plus stock awards worth $23.1 million, bonus compensation of $23.9 million, and other compensation of $1.9 million. My God. In June of 2025, after majority of shares voted by Warner Bros., Discovery stockholders were against the pay package of Zaslav and other top execs in a symbolic, non-binding rebuke. The company entered into a new employment agreement with Zaslav that will significantly reduce his target annual compensation, including lowering his annual cash compensation opportunity and reorienting the total pay mix toward long-term incentives, according to WBD. What does that mean? It means he's not bullish on them at all, and he wants nothing to do with it. I will also say that as long as it doesn't affect the VeVe DC comic deal, which I think they can get at some point, doesn't matter to me. Biggest share, okay, the shareholders. VeVe just talked about their snap to location thing. Like, I went over this yesterday, but they only shared it today. So they've had a really interesting, and I don't know if this is marketing, because again, they never announced, I mean, they announced today Avatar, but they kind of let us find it. It was in the app, and yeah, of course we found it. It was in the app, and they let us discover it, and it was great. It was breaking. We're like, oh my God, we got Avatar. Last I read it. And then again, same thing yesterday. This was on their blog yesterday. I went over it live. And it was cool. But then they announced it today. So I think VeVe's doing something where they're like, you know what? We're just going to have the blog updated. We're going to have the app updated. We're just going to let people find it. And then they'll share it with Randy, and then Randy will go live about it. You know, cool. Yeah, I think that's cool. Build up hype. I think that's fun. Excuse me. Oh my God. So sorry. There's the Sushi Car NFT, the first motion controlled AR collectible. You had the DeLorean that was motion controlled first, like 2021. You were able to do that. They took it away a little bit, then they brought it back, I think, but that's the first one. The 14U F98 saying, do we actually think it could be another 3 years of bear market? I don't know. I mean, I didn't think we'd have this. Like, we've been in bear. We've done nothing but go down for 4-ish years. Could be another 3. I don't know. I have no idea. Ideally, I would like the bear market to last another year. This way I could sell some shares, or all my shares, most of my shares, in companies that I have. Just make a fudge ton of money. Sell some equity in DACAT, sell some equity, and again, the rest of my share, like maybe YouTube, just raise as much money as I can in the next year. For me, obviously do it for other companies as well, but, and then by doing that, just going hard on a bunch of these other cryptos, Definity, OMI, DEVVE, FIAS, DACAT, because I know what I'm going to do with the IP, with DACAT, and I know what that's going to eventually lead to for the token. So yeah, those 5 are the ones, and again, I should probably get some flow and some alluvium and some other stuff that's going fairly well, at least for the businesses. Again, tokens just getting absolutely wrecked. Every single one of those tokens out there. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. But again, if the tokens go up in the next 6 months and I miss out on it, okay, cool. I at least have my base, I at least have these tokens. I don't need to put any more money in them. I don't really want to put any more money in them. Because again, most of my wealth the last few years has come from investing in these smaller companies. That's honestly probably what I should have been doing all along. But again, the thesis remains strong. Companies doing well, that should translate into value and buys for the tokens for each of these companies in a very meaningful way, especially when they're needed to do things. So yeah, that's my idea. See what happens. I mean, for me, I look at it as a way to stack. If OMI can stay down here for a year, or at least as long as it takes for me to get this stuff, I'll get 1 billion tokens. I'll get 2-3 billion. Doesn't matter. I'll own 10,000 comics and like. So again, Squirrel Girl, and again, I'll make a video about this. But let's go. I'm gonna check partner statue one more time, just to see. Still 8.1 million. Come on, guys, give me something. Man, give me something I can feel. Oh, don't you want me like I want you, baby? Don't you need me like I need you now? Sorry, I'm just waiting until this goes to the vault. Sleep tomorrow, but tonight go crazy. All you gotta do is just meet me. Okay, Chavez, have you lost your mind? Because I'll help you find it. Why are you stacking Squirrel Girl comics? Why do you have 56 unbeatable Squirrel Girl comics? I will tell you right now, it is not for the ROI. It is not. I thought she was a C tier comic. Apparently, heck is she? Heck, she's actually a D tier comic. Like, she is the worst of the worst over there. She's on there with the death of Captain America and Marvel Zombies and the Star Wars and the Disney stuff. Like, this is not something that, like, again, not something that you get for ROI. Okay, well, Chavez, I'm waiting for why you're buying this. There were 20,000 of her. Well, there were. If it minted out, which it didn't, and that should tell you how much value the people that are here right now put on Squirrel Girl. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl #1 had 20,000 mints that you could mint out. It minted 7,000, maybe. I think less. So yeah, in total had 7,000 of her that were minted, which again tells you exactly what you need to know about what people in VeVe thought of her. However, comma, that being said, she's kind of a fan favorite out there. Like, there's a bunch of things that she's done that, like, she's defeated Thanos. People love her. And yeah, gonna go stupid here. I think that the people on VeVe, including Sleepin, including everyone, were valuing her appropriately for what we have now. They didn't mint out. Barely any. I'm not even a top holder. There's a couple people out there that have thought, okay, there's 10, 14, 16, 17, 18, like 19% of these, are held by the top 5 people. But there's only 3,555. And I think that eventually you have some Squirrel Glow fans come in here. And again, I like her, but I also think that, again, she's with squirrels, and there's probably going to be a very few amount. I bet the furries come, and they're probably going to want to get her. I think there'll be enough fans out there that, yeah, they might pay $3 for a common, $5 for a common, because there really aren't a ton of them. 3,555. So one, I like her because she's hysterical, and then 2, yeah, there's people that are going to come in and they're going to buy her for multiple reasons, most of which you don't want to know about. But yeah, I think that's why. It's not even her first appearance, but it's the only one we have of her. So, also, again, I like her. She's fun. Not for any ROI. Most likely to get negative ROI from this, but, Raul Paul said we were just lagging 1 year. I hope he's right, because he was talking about the banana zone last year, and that, that didn't come last year. Shit, give me 1 second. Exists. Tacos. Tacos are so good, bro. Wow. Not with that much jalapenos on them. I do not like that much jalapenos. A lot of YouTubers break down his interviews talking about 2026, liquidity, bull cycle, and AI. It's dope, search it. Yeah, I'm sure. That'd be great. That would be really great. If we had that this year. I definitely see it for Bitcoin and ETH this year. I really do. But I also, I'm just trying to lower expectations here, because I don't want to be like, yep, this year for sure. This year, 100% for sure. Over leverage myself, because it doesn't matter. It's going to go up in 6 months, 8 months, and then it doesn't go up for 18 months. And I'm just not doing that anymore. I'm happy with the life I got. I have no problem living like this until stuff hits, and then I go. I'm gonna need, when stuff does go crazy. I'm gonna need like a month here to be like, all right, new lifestyle. There will be signs. There will be signs. 14U saying, what do you think of Terra Luna Classic? I'm not gonna lie, I'm like a golden retriever with only 2 brain cells left. I don't know anything about Terra Luna Classic. I don't know what is it. TLC? No. Okay. It's LUNC. It's number 158. $10 million in volume, $235 million market cap. Let's go to max here. Okay, so this was, Jesus, this was at like $100 a coin in 2022. And You know, over the past year, it's been 406. You know, the past year, it's actually not down that much. It's down 33%. Still a lot. But again, this was over $100 a coin in March of 2022. It's now a fraction of a cent. Like, Jesus. But again, it's still number 158, and it's still worth 235 million. Yeah, it could probably go to $1 billion. Could probably go to $1 billion market cap. Now its supply is unlimited, so it can keep on minting. I listen. I wouldn't buy this. Give me $100 million, and I would not touch this still. One, because I don't know anything about it aside from what I'm saying. Max supply. It's just. But let's take a look at its X. Maybe there's reasons here. Got almost 1 million followers over on X. Post Chapter 11, Terraform Labs began winding down and is no longer active. All official Delaware U.S. court bankruptcy filings are at profile link. The Office of the Terraform Labs Plan Administrator has filed a lawsuit against Jane Street, alleging insider trading, market manipulation, and deceptive trading practices that contributed to the May 2022 collapse of Terraform Labs. The complaint details how Jane Street allegedly traded on material non-public information, executed a concentrated $85 million UST sale minutes after a confidential liquidity withdrawal, and avoided substantial losses while investors suffered billions in damages. His action seeks to recover value for creditors and hold Jane Street accountable for exploiting the ecosystem during one of the most consequential events in crypto history. Cool. And that was a few weeks ago. I'm not, again, that's great. I'm not touching this with any type of, again, give me $100 million. I have other things that I know better that I just know better and I feel more comfortable with buying. There might be, like, one of the consequences of them filing that lawsuit, there might be, okay, this lawsuit gets us to pump again, and the $235 million that we're at is going to be peanuts. We're actually going to 10x. We're going to go to $2.5 billion. And yeah, that might be possible. I don't know. But again, I don't know enough about its history. I don't know enough about founder, about the community, you know, who holds what. So for me, I'm not going to buy it because, again, one, I don't know enough about it. Two, I have a bunch of other things where I could fill 100 million like that. So those are mostly the reasons why. But then also, yeah, an infinite supply. I don't know. But thanks, Booth. Not into politics, but I know Trump was one of the people said to vote for when it came to crypto. How's he doing so far? Has he delivered? Not trying to be smart ass here. If he hasn't, true question. This is the hard one because Trump has a. You ever see those, like, seeing eye posters where they're like, they look one way, but then if you look at it just right, oh, that's really cool. Like it looked like if you squint just right, you see the vision, you see it all there, and it's beautiful. And Trump has these things where, in the long term, I mean, the tariff war was needed. America is just getting bent over a barrel for so long, and that needed to happen. And in the long term, you can't act in the world that you wish the world was. You have to act inside the world that is. And you have to take the world as it is, not as you wish it would be. This is why girls go for beasts. They go for bad boys. They go for dangerous guys, because there are terrifying beasts, and women know this better than anyone. There are bad people out there. and they will do unsavory things. And you need to have a protector, and you need to have someone that also is a bit of a beast, because you need to ward off other beasts. China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, like there are countries out there that, and I'm very privileged to be. I was not born here. I was born in Peru. I'm very privileged to be a citizen of this great country, to have moved here when I was a baby, served in the military. I've been to dozens of other countries. So far, America's been the best one of them. As a whole, like obviously there's certain things I like about Germany that are better. There are certain things I like in Vienna, Austria that are better. Spain that are like, there's certain things in every country that is just like, yeah, this one part of this country, this is better than America. This is better than most of, in America. But there's nowhere else I'd rather get sick in. Like, there's no other country I'd rather get sick in than America. There's no other country I'd want to be in if World War III to ever go in. There's no, like, you ask any other troop out there from any other nation that's ever deployed with a faction of other countries, and something happens to one of their guys in one of those units, ask them who they wish comes to their rescue. Ask them who they wish they would rather deploy with downrange, because they know that they're going to be fine. Their backs are going to be taken care of. America. And any unit of any other country would be like, oh yeah, if I'm in a bad spot, I hope America's the one that comes to save us, because American troops are just better in infinite amount of ways. Mostly because we have insane amount of budget to train our troops that way. And all of this to say that the map of the world is changing. A lot of ice in the northern Arctic is melting, and new shipping routes are going to be opening up. You're going to have like this AI stuff. New York has this really freaking stupid law that they plan to pass. I have to find it here. I think this was announced today. And again, I promise there's a track in here, track in my mind. It was, oh, nope, over that. New York bill would ban AI from answering questions related to medicine, law, dentistry, nursing, psychology, social work, engineering, and more. That is retarded. And New York is, like, honestly one of the worst states. Like, it really is. It's one of the best. Got some of the best mixtures of people. Sometimes that gives you great food. That does give you a lot of great culture. Pizza, bagels. Again, Manhattan, one of the financial hubs probably the financial hub of the world. But it's shitty. Like there's such a big difference between New York in the 90s and 2000s and 2010 till now. Like it's a shithole. Anyway, with AI, there's a reason why Trump rescinded the 100-page log that Biden had, where really crushing AI innovation. All of the stuff that he's doing is going to be great long term, because all this stuff needs to be done. Again, guy from Venezuela's stock market pumping, their people happy. People of Iran, was it Tom Jones? They were dancing in the street. What the heck is the name of that song? I think it's Tom Jones. Miracle song. Tom Jones. I don't think it's. It's me. Oh, is it Barry Manilow? Oh, it's Barry Manilow. Anyway, it's me. They're dancing in the street like a freaking Barry Manilow song. Because Ayatollah is dead. Because again, he was horrible for his people. Google women of Iran in the 50s. they're wearing bathing suits. They're showing skin. They're just like, we're normal clothes. They're wearing skirts. And not that you should want women in skirts all the time, but it's like, I don't know. I like America. I think that women should have the choice. Probably should be a little bit more modest sometimes, but I think they should have the choice to wear as much or as little as they want. Again, New York, it gets a little crazy. You could have women with their tops off, which sometimes is great. Sometimes it's not great. But again, having the freedom to do that, I think, is great. I think they stoned to death like gay people over there. Like, yeah, this leader needed to be taken out. Did the U.S. have to be the ones to do it? I mean, no. I mean, again, do you want China doing it? Do you want somebody else doing it, and then they get the loot? Again, like Maduro should have been taken out by some. Like, the world is a better place with Maduro gone. If somebody else, but again, these leaders of these countries, they drop loot. We're in a video game. They drop loot, and it's not common loot either. You know how much oil that the U.S. is going to get from Venezuela? From Iran. What type of loot are they going to drop? I don't know. Do they have lithium over there? Do they have poppy field? Like, whatever they have, like, it's something. Again, trade routes, oil, gas, and that maybe cripples China if they import oil from Iran. Again, that Sea of Hormuz. I don't know what to call it. If this is going to happen anyway, it's better that the U.S. go in and take control of that situation, have influence over that situation, because again, I would rather have U.S. influence over there than China influence or Russia influence. And again, has there been blowback? Yes, you have had some American troops that have died. I think from Kuwait, actually, that were stationed in Al-Salam. It might have been Erbil, Iraq as well. But there have been some American troops that have died. Have there been civilians that have been killed? Yes. This is all awful, and you don't want that. You want to preserve as much innocent life as possible, especially conscious life. But again, like that, how many people have been saved because of that? How many future people will have been saved because of that? And I think if you look at it from the greater good theory, this has been for the greater good. All of this being said, in the short term, Trump has probably been the worst person for crypto, because in the short term, it's just been nothing but going down. And yeah, that's a lot of people can't see the forest where the trees are in the way. And it's like, this unfortunately seems like it had to be done. And I do think a lot of the stuff that's going on with the Clarity Bill, with all this, it is going to be good in the long term. But yeah, in the short term, it's just been god awful. It has been one of the worst presidencies for crypto ever, because of that. Now, how much of that is his fault? How much of that is, well, I mean, even like Jerome Powell doing it because he doesn't like Trump. If Trump was not who he was, maybe Jerome Powell would have not been a dick, and he would have just, cut rates as he should have. But again, why is he that way? Probably because him and Trump butt heads, and he doesn't like Trump, and he's sticking it to him, even though when he's sticking it to him, he's sticking it to the American people as well. Who said USA stopped World War III by bombing Iran? It's possible. I mean, now listen, I've been hearing since the 90s, Iran's really close to a nuke. They're pretty close to having that technology. I've been hearing this for 30 years, and I'm pretty sure they've been touting that for even since before I've been born. Were they actually close this time? I'm probably not. I mean, our Iranian scientists, some of them are really good at stuff. I don't know. Were they close to getting one? Anyone's guess, coin flip. Again, the media propaganda has been saying Iran's been close to getting a nuke since the 90s. I was there. I seen it. I was alive in the 90s. Saw those news articles. and then the media is so, you can't trust them, because like CNN before Trump bombed the Iran nuclear facilities last time was like, there's no evidence to show that Iran's really close to this. Then after he bombed them, it was like weeks later, it was just like, yeah, Trump bombed Iran, of these nuclear facilities, but it didn't work. They are no further away from achieving nuclear bomb or weapon now than they were weeks ago. So the bombing didn't work. And it's like, okay, Mr. News Media, I think it was CNN, is like, you said that they weren't even close. They weren't close to, so they weren't close to achieving nuclear power. So Trump shouldn't have bombed them. Then after he bombed them, it's like, well, no, they are close, and Trump's bombings just didn't work. So again, the media is just filled with a bunch of liars. It's very hard to read in between the lines. I assume after 30 years, yeah, they might have been close to having a nuke, and you can tell they're bombing countries indiscriminately. There are no qualms about killing civilians. They have no qualms about. So yes, this is probably the best thing that could have happened. I mean, the best thing that could have happened, like the people of Iran took over the government themselves. They overthrow the government by themselves. And then this way, maybe no U.S. troops die, maybe other civilians of other countries. But again, would that have been bloodier? Maybe. It's hard, but the way that it's turning out right now, as long as this, because it costs about $1 billion a day, supposedly, to be at war with Iran. Now, for war with Iran for 20 days, okay, cool. You know what? 20 billion to get that guy out of there, probably save a bunch of lives on top of that. We have influence over there. That might be, I don't say worth it, because again, American lives have died, and any innocent life, like that might be worth it in the long term. But if this carries on for like years, then it's like, okay, this was a train wreck, and this should have been planned out better, or something. I don't know. But it's possible that we did. Possible. VeVe saying, getting 11K daily MCP. One day when they do something with it, I'll be ready. You will definitely bet for it. I'm only getting like 3,400. I'm not getting a lot at all. I am getting a very small amount. Again, 3,400, I think. Jimita Esapetha is saying, it's pushing hard for the Clarity Act to pass, which sets utility coins flying to the moon. I hope so. We'll see. I mean, we did have it's from Ash Crypto Real. Let me go to Ash Crypto Real, because the US just quietly gave banks the green light to hold tokenized securities, and this is big. The Fed, OCC, and FDIC just released a joint statement. 3 of America's most powerful financial regulators speaking with one voice. The message was simple. Tokenized securities get the same capital treatment as traditional securities. Same rules, same collateral recognition, same risk weighting. Blockchain or no blockchain makes no difference. This is bigger than most people realize. Banks were previously sitting on the sidelines waiting for regulatory clarity on crypto assets. That excuse just disappeared, like Thanos and his gauntlet. Tokenized treasury bond is now treated exactly like a regular treasury bond on a bank's balance sheet. Tokenized stock is treated exactly like a regular stock. Permission blockchain or public blockchain, it doesn't matter. They get the same treatment. What this means in plain English, every major US bank can now hold, trade, and use tokenized assets as collateral without any regulatory penalty. Trillions of dollars in traditional assets are about to find new homes on the blockchain. The Wall Street just got permission to move into crypto on a much bigger scale. Clip that. Sorry. Yeah, that's pretty bullish for crypto. Will the Clarity Act passing set another reason why utility coins should go to the moon? I hope so. I think that'd be great, but it should. Not sure. Well, Garner says Terra Luna was a rug pull. It's kind of what I thought. Well, Terra Luna, yeah, there's a lot to go along with the history of that. There's been a bunch of insiders, manipulation, a lot of bad stuff. Stablecoin adoption is loading up the bull. That's Sleeper 2. Banks already dipping their feet. Yeah. Well, I was saying, why would you sell your OMI that is down 90% for partner statue and comics? I might have been not clear on this. So I wouldn't, well, I mean, you have to spend your OMI on that. But I would replace the OMI that I spend like immediately. I wouldn't just buy a bunch of this stuff and then not have OMI anymore. Again, I'd replace it. But that being said, it's also not a horrible idea. What's OMI at now? 00012? To go in and say, like, you know what, if you have no collectibles or no comics, like, you know what, and let's say you have 100 million OMI, it might not be a bad idea. Yeah, take 5 million, take 5%, buy some collectibles and comics. And you know, because one's going to go up first. Obviously, I think OMI outperforms pretty much everything on this app, but it doesn't mean that it'll go up first. It means that just it'll outperform eventually. You could have collectibles and comics that go up first. Like, you have some comics that already have, and I'm sure collectibles have too. Like, again, there are times where you can get partner statue for like $600-700. Now it's $1,000. Now, granted, there's going to be fees in there and stuff too, but yeah, that's not a terrible reason why. But again, what I was mentioning before is me buying all these partner statues and comics. Like, I wouldn't just do that. I would replace that OMI. Milgarn saying the community has seemed to keep it alive. Has been a lot that's alive. Who's saying, honestly, Walt and Grail comics probably have faster ROI than you could roll profits into. OMI for long-term crypto hold. I say faster ROI than you could roll profits into OMI for long. Because I mean, if they have a, they're saying that, let's say partner statue like doubles, you know, and OMI only does like a 50%, then you can roll that into the OMI. Yeah, you probably can do that. But again, we're not sure how much. I mean, it's possible that OMI goes up first, in which case, you know, you'd probably want OMI over anything else. But again, we're still not sure what does. We're not sure when it goes. I mean, we could be holding on to this stuff for another 15, 18 months, or it could start running up in the next 3 months. You know, it's very hard to tell. Who remembers? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Oh, Smart Buy saying, well, what I think Ryan's converting his OMI bag into VeVe collectibles, personally think is a smart decision. Again, I still have around 300 million OMI, so it's not like I have 20 million, left. It's like, yeah, I converted it all. No, like and also again, as I get more stuff, I do kind of buy stuff back. Buy high, so low. It's the worst. Who's saying, smart, but for real, you should hold OMI portion in different wallets because spending OMI is very addicting. You can easily accidentally spend 75%. I could not easily accidentally spend 75%. But I could, because I don't really buy even partner statues, like 8 million OMI. But yeah, I could I could definitely spend. I mean, and I've thought about it, just like sweeping the floor, but it's like I want to wait. I want to wait a little bit. Booth's laughing. Marbuy says, even if he does spend 100%, I'd be okay. First appearance, major super limited collectibles over unstable, very limited utility. Too many of it. Coin collectibles, collectibles over OMI. So smart buy that's where his bets are. His bets are going into collectibles. But again, like let's say again, partner statue is one of the best out there, right? What if DC goes up first? What if Todd's and Superman and Risos those go up first? And then it's like shit. Should have bought those. And then it goes to Vader and Luke and Boba Fett. Okay, yep, should have. And then it goes to comics. Let's say you have the S tier comics, Amazing Fantasy, Incredible Hulk number 181. You have X-Men, giant size X-Men. Like you could have all of those, all 4 of those different things that go up before partner statues. So it's hard because not everything's going to run at once, even within the VeVe collectibles. It's not like everything's going to rise at the same time. And now it's possible that partner statue goes up first. The partner statue goes to maybe 3K and Todd maybe still at 500. Might not be a bad idea to load up on those Todds, especially as we get more people, Risos and Supermans and all that jazz. Was saying OMI is more liquid than collectibles. True. Honestly, collectible could probably hit $1 million plus floor, but then you have to find a buyer. Yeah, it's hard because my back. Yeah, finding a buyer is hard at that level. Like, there's not that many secret rare Miles Moraleses that sell because there's not a lot out there, and the people that willing to spend $8 on it, they might already have one. Or the $1 million sale will probably happen for a good collectible with a god level mint. The rest will slide on right. Yeah, like 1901 or 1923 partner statue, or Spider-Man number 19, whatever year his movie came out. That's actually, you don't even have that. Secret Spider-Man only goes up to 1,000 mints. So again, you don't even have that. It's hard. Says Omi, all you do is sell and dissolve those diamond hand, but a duality is key. Bet $1 million Omi Sadie Sink had to drink baby's blood to get that drink. Oh my god, no, I don't think she did. She's super popular. Coming off Stranger Things, like that Stranger Things is one of the hottest shows. Like, that was so good. Everyone that watches knows who she is. She's a good actor. So again, popular. She's good. She's young, so she could play that character for 20 plus years. Redheads tend to age very well, and as much as I kind of don't want it, she's very good looking. I'll just leave it at that. Smart Buy says that's why you get one of each first appearance character, common first appearance comics, pay secret rares, golden moments, etc., as much as you can. Not financial advice. So the value, again, like, you look at the analytics. Let's say Incredible Hulk number 181 uncommon. There's a couple out there for like $13. Give me a sec over here. Let me look at it. Incredible Hulk number 181 uncommon, $13 right now. And there's a couple there, 1333, 1378, 1378. There's a few. And it's like, okay, that's pretty low, and it is, because the commons are like 20. But then you look, okay, 6 months ago, people were getting them for $8. So you're paying like an 80% margin. And then the top holders, you have Emoji that has 110 of those. Goosmeister has 242. So there's a couple of big holders out there that are looking to probably sell when it gets to a certain point. But yeah, like, and again, first appearance Wolverine, I feel like it should be higher. 2,250 of those uncommon comics. It was a smart buy. That's what I'm doing right now. Cahoots. A lot of famous people say they had to do rituals. Yeah, I've heard sacrifices to get big roles, even if they were completely qualified and had a big following. He controls who moves up in fame. You're not wrong. They do, but I would like to think that Sadie Sink did nothing of that sort, and she got in on her merits alone, because I love her. She's great, and I'm just super excited to see her. I don't think I've seen her in a role other than Mad Max. That's what they called her, the Zoomer. So yeah, I'm curious to see her in something else. Do I care enough to see her, like, look up her other movies? But I'm excited to see her in that she might be again Jean Grey. She also might be Madeline Pryor. We'll see what she has. Anyway, let's get to some of the news here, because I haven't. Let's get to the rest of the tokens, because I haven't. We went over. Did we go over DEVVE? DEVVE is down 6% on the day, $4 million market cap. Actually, it was down to 3.9, but now it's back up. But still down 6% on the day. FIAS up 9%. $2 million market cap. Okay, good for you, FIAS. Good for you. Definity, my love. And they had a good month in February. Up 2.5%. The big wallet that was selling seemed to have stopped selling, so maybe it's onwards and upwards from here. Who knows? DACAT, they are down 0.5 point on the day. Actually, only $34 in volume. But the last couple of days, they had a couple grand in volume. And we're at $750,000 market cap. 750K, 219,000 of that is in locked liquidity, which I love. We're pretty close to finishing the comic. It's not going to, so we have to make it actually a multiple of 4. So it's not going to be 80. We're going to cut some things down. We're going to try to make it 80 pages, maybe 76. Still going to be $10 because again, it's insane. That's an insanely long comic, and it's really good. And there's a little twist in there. It might not make it. I don't know. Randy, ever thought of buying and holding Secret Rare AF-15, Secret Rare MC1, or Secret Rare First Appearance Spider-Man collectible, or similar things? Yeah. It's just the, going to the AF-15. Give me one sec. I'll find it. No, I don't want any more collectibles. Okay, there we go. Yeah, 5K. I don't know if I could do 5K right now. I could, I just don't want to. If something happens, if in the next year we're still down here, I don't think we will, but if we are, I'll buy as many as people want to sell for 5K. Because again, that's such a wicked good comic. Amazing Fantasy 15 sale. 9.6 graded copy sold for a record-breaking 3.6 million in 2021. Okay, so the Secret Rare right now is not even 1% of that. It is 1/7 of 1%, because it's $36,000 would be 1%. A seventh of that would be 5K and change. That's what we're at now. So even if it just gets up to 1%, that goes to $35,000. And I think it will. I think it will very easily, because that's just 1% of what it's sold for in a 9.6. There, yeah, I think very easily it will do that. I don't know when, but I'm sure it will. Now, again, there's only 250 of those. What about the common? Common, there's what, 4 or 6,000. Still $144. I mean, you asked about the Secret Rare, but let's say 5K, right? Let's do 5. Still a 34x of the common. Not bad. MC1. If I type in that, all right, Marvel Comics #1, Secret Rare. How many of these Secret Rare? There's 600 of them. Oh, there's actually only 600. $2,100. Squeebs is the floor there. Squeebs actually has 20 of these things. Jesus. $2,100, 17.7 million. It's so hard for me to be able to buy that. Let me do this. Let's Google Marvel Comics #1 sales. And one of the most valuable comic books in existence, high-grade copies selling for millions of dollars at auction. March 2022, it sold for 2.4 million, and that was a 9.2. So 2.4 million is not bad. Let's do the maths. So it's 1/10 of 1% right now. The Secret Rare of an MC1 is 1/10 of 1% of its highest sale back in 2022. So it has to do with like a 12x just to get to where the value is 1% of the highest sale. And I think it does it. I think this does go for 24K. So yeah, I think these definitely are worth it. Then you said Secret Rare Spider-Man First Appearance collectible. Let's see what those are. My back. There's 1,000 of these, but really 910 because VeVe kept 90. Dr. Collect has 79 of these. Okay, 8, 9, 10. So 10%. So 10% are held by the top 5. Meta Mars. So also be advised, the floor is $3,600. That's not what you can get them for. You can get them for much cheaper because 5 of them have sold over the last month. Right? Secret Spider-Man, you see 5 of them. And 79 million OMI. So $9,500. Like, wait a minute. That means they've sold for less than 2K each. You could probably get one for 2K if you know the right person. Boo's saying 5K is such a good move, though. Yeah, it is. But I'd just rather it go to other stuff. You're well known. You could easily find a buyer. That's the thing. Oh yeah, I could find a buyer for anything. Yeah, I'm very good at that. MC1, see where all-time high was not. Yeah, it was insane. I know there were sales like at 50K, but I definitely think there's going to be more sales like that at some point as well. Because again, last time you had people that were like Donnie's, I just don't see a ton of value. I mean, the value is because OGs coveted it. They wanted a whole series, they wanted a complete set of everything from series 1 or season 1. And most of them were locked up by like 3 people. So I'm not seeing too much value in a Donnie really anymore this time. I'm not seeing too much value in a bunch of the other stuff that was out there. I'm going to see the value in the stuff that holds really big value on the outside. So those comics, and again, partner statue, Superman's really, Todd, because it's historic. Superman, the statue that the Superman was made off of is worth a couple $100 in real life. So I don't know how well but again, it's the first one on the blockchain, and Superman's just such a huge IP, it's not really a flex to have one. It's cool, and he looks beautiful. But like even partner statue, like having a partner statue used to mean something. It's like, yeah, it's 20 grand right there. It's a car. Nowadays, it's like it's $1,000, not that much of a flex. It's a Pokemon card, but I think it will. I think because of the fact that, and Secret Rare Spider-Man, same thing. It's a couple grand. I think that is going to be a big flex. Now, Todd's were a flex when they were $14,000. Riso's were a big flex when they were $20,000. Now Riso's like 500. But again, there's a lot of, especially Riso's, because there's only 1,750 of those. There's definitely a lot of ones that are held up in accounts that are just no longer there. For example, like Brockman Blockchain has a couple, like Ghostbusters gold logo. There's only one out there. $3,300. 188 of those. And again, like on the VeVe floor price, $43,000. Nobody's paying that, right? But for $3,400, $28.5 million OMI, that's even back in like, well, okay, you could have got one on VeVe in December for $2,500. I don't know if any sold recently. Actually, one did sell. A Ghostbuster number 136. That actually sold for $3 grand. Was it $3 grand? Give me one sec here. Give me one sec. I have the data. Give me something real quick. Okay, the Stephen Pugh Harley Quinn, one of those sold for $3K. It wasn't the Ghostbusters one. I don't know if there was a Ghostbusters that sold. I don't know for how much. Speaking of Stephen Pugh Harley Quinn, Brock has a 2-digit. So there's one for 12 million OMI. It's a normal mint number, but Brock has a 2-digit for 15 million OMI. And again, one did sell for 3K recently, so that's not bad. You know, Brock has a bunch of stuff out there that he's selling to help a friend. And he's done this type of stuff before. He's got like the savior thing. He's got to save everyone. So he finds someone that's in need and he sells his personal stuff to help him out. He's a great guy. Marcus, Donnie sucks. Don't buy. LOL. Buy things either first appearance. Well, Donnie is first appearance. But yeah, I know what you're saying. That's why I don't have one. FA or historical value attached. Don't buy random things. Agreed. I mean, a lot of stuff on VeVe is historic, but yeah, I know what you mean. Like the stuff with the physical value, and that's why I even mentioned Superman. Like he's based off of a physical statue, and the physical statue is not that much, but the comics, again, they're just insane. VeVe Zombie said, "Yo, am I crazy or Spider-Man Zombie Hunter really Tom Holland's FA?" It might be. It might be because he was in the thing, right? He was in the movie as that. He had that cloak. So my ghost was a little even buy things people desire to have or talk about as much. I don't have a Ghostbuster logo thing because yeah, they are very illiquid. I do think there will be some people that will desire to have those, but they are few and far between. And again, if you're a fan, you know, by all means, like what you like and buy what you want. But if you are going for ROI, honestly, the best ROI, and I promise I'm not shilling here, but the best ROI I've seen is in some of these comics that are, and again, you're going to need more users because the comics that we have, like let's say like I have 223 Vengeance #1s, first appearance of America Chavez. There's 21,000 of those. Unless you have a whole bunch of Spanish people come in, that's not going to be a thing that's going to do super well. Now, the secret rare might. I think those are like $50, $60. Even Strange Tales 110. This is an A-tier comic. First appearance of Doctor Strange. But again, there's 21,000 of those. I just, you're going to need a lot of people to come in order for that to make sense. But again, Strange Tales, I think a large one sold for like 100K, you know, in a high grade. And that's the idea of why, okay, well, I can get this one for like, you know, $6. I was, hey, Randy, what is the largest known sale on VeVe? Do you know? I think there was partner statues that were sold for 40, 50K last time. Oh no, Secret Rare Spider-Man, like 70K, I think. Yeah, I think Secret Rare Spider-Man sold for like 70 something grand last time. Last time. Last night I dreamt of San Pedro. Sorry. So I think that was it. Anyway, so we went over to Cat, let's just do OMI real quick. Just under 00012. So if you take a look, we've been under 00012 a couple of times just today. And then a bunch of times, you know, a few days ago. Went way down to 00116 back on the 2nd. So we keep hitting, and this one even went to 1149 back in late February. So we do keep hitting there, but we don't go below that. This one went to 112 back on the 23rd. So again, we go there, but we never go below. And I feel like looks like it wants to. And now again, this is a not bad of a price to back your OMI at, in my opinion. But you could have another big dip with Bitcoin and ETH before this clarity. You have like a month or two before the Clarity Act passes. And, you know, you could get, oh my God. you could get a really big, one sec. You could get a really big, what do you call it? Dump there. And if you do, could take OMI right along with it. And I would love to stack at quad 07. Or quad 07, I'll get another 50 million OMI. For quad 05, 100 million is a lot. I don't even know if I could buy that much without it going up. Yeah, close. Order goes by Evening Chavi Cat. Picked up the common, rare, and an ultra rare Phoenix VeVe comic that dropped today. There's less than 1,000 mints on that? Nuh-uh. Hold on. Wait, really? Yeah, there is. Hold on one second. Phoenix. Do I have to type in resurrection? My filter, comic, apply. God, what is this called? Resurrection, the return of Jean Grey. Okay, number 5. There's a lot of comics with Phoenix on them. Number 1, number 3, number 4. Shoot, give me one sec. OEMTQRK5IZ. Resurrection. Am I retarded? Maybe I am. Okay, here we go. 25 in the market. Let's see what they are in the market. Let me look at these on Stacker. It's only giving me Resurrection of Magneto. Oh, it's not available on Stacker. Okay, maybe the uncommon will be sold on Stacker. Nope, uncommon's not available on Stacker either. What about the rare? Also, you know what? If it's not available on Stacker, I'm just going to say heck it. Then the collectibles tab on the home screen. Yeah, I saw that, but I was looking for it on the market. And I don't have gems. Everything in my vault is first appearance strictly because why not? That's dope. That's dope. Yeah. Yeah, looks great. Anyway, let's go over. Should buy some. Yeah, I want. Now again, the quad zeros may never come, for OMI. So might be waiting for a very long time. If we're waiting for that. Avengers, Squirrels. Sorry, just doing one more quick thing of the comics here. Okay, we're good. Let's go to one of the other articles. We should do the news because we're almost 2 hours in. Actually, we did most of the news. Regenerate. Okay, good. ORKT. I'll look at that another time. Crude oil. Miracle. I can't. Oh, Barry Manilow. Can't believe okay. Let's go to some of the news. Let me go to Tuesday. Monday. Sailor Strategy bought another $200 million worth of Bitcoin on March 2nd. Stacker says, did you know that 0 taxes apply to OMI to gem conversions? Instead, OMI is burnt in the process. Guy named Saul says, NFTs are scams, looking at Mad Lads, DeGods, Claynosaurs, Galactic Geckos, Teo Robotics, SMB Gen 2, Famous Fox, Utes, and OK Bears, and Sets. I've heard of DeGods, Claynosaurs, and Utes. But yeah, this is rough. So Mad Lads, all-time high, $32,000. Current price, $1,400. At least it's still over $1,000. The Gods was $38,000. Current price, $460. Claynosaurs, $6,000. Current price, $1,350. Also really not bad. Galactic Geckos, all-time high, $4,300. Current price, $350. Tyro Robotics, all-time high, $18,500. Current price, $750. SMB Gen 2 was $48,900. Now it's $1,600. Famous Fox was $3,400. Now $350. And by the way, the SMB Gen 2 was $48,900. And the current price is $1,600. Not $1,000, $1,600. Famous Fox, $3,400. Now it's $350. Utes were $5,500. Now they're $100. OK Bears was $14,500. Now they're $90. God damn. And Sets, CETS, were $9,200. Now they're $30. Oh my goodness. Over 9,000. So when Saul says NFTs are scams, again, I think Claynosaurs seem to be pretty good. And I've heard of Utes. And I've heard of the Gods. I don't think any of these are really scams. I just think that, yeah, bear market crushed a lot of projects. All nighter, all night. Oh God, I don't think I can. If I didn't do it live, Dr. Fit, I did like 90 minutes with him. Then maybe. But my poor throat, my poor voice, my poor bladder. But we're going to go and continue on with some of this news. For the second consecutive month, ISM manufacturing PMI has come above 50%. Look at history. Every major rally in Bitcoin and alts happened with the ISM greater than 50%. This is because when ISM goes above 50, the economy enters an expansion phase. During an expansion phase, businesses make more money, people earn more, spending goes up. Also, due to high income, risk appetite goes up, which results in a big rally. If ISM stays above 50 for a few more months, the crypto winter could be over soon, according to Ash Crypto Real. Job postings for software engineers are rapidly rising, good for the economy. Bull Theory says this is unbelievable. Trump is using cloud AI better than anyone. George Bush, when he captured Saddam Hussein, it took 8 years, needed 170,000 plus US troops on the ground, and it cost $2 to $3 trillion with over 4,400 US casualties. President Trump, with Anthropic's Claude, captured Venezuelan President Maduro in 2.5 hours, and he needed about 60 troops. There were 0 US casualties, and gained control of oil reserves worth $17 trillion. 2, he eliminated Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, in less than 3 hours of initial operation, 0 US casualties during the strikes. Obviously, unfortunately, we've had some fallen soldiers afterwards, and eliminated more than 10 top officials. 3, the US service members were killed at a US military base in Kuwait the next day on March 1st during Iranian airstrikes. Very unfortunate. I'm going to comment F down below to pay respects. But number 3, he eliminated El Mencho, leader of the biggest drug cartel, CJNG. In a 2-hour operation, 0 casualties. US provided intelligence. Use of AI is not 100% confirmed with that. But yeah, after the US airstrike on Iran, Claude had a record-breaking day with over 500,000 downloads on February 28th and became the #1 app on Apple, overtaking ChatGPT. AI warfare does seem to be here. Thanks for EMI. EMI? Yeah. 1.1, invite friends, get code, founders updates, friend get friend. Oh God, I can't go over that. BlackRock ETF has bought $767 million worth of Bitcoin on March 2nd. JD Vance has a 21% chance of becoming president, according to Polymarket. The SEC has officially excluded crypto from its regulatory priorities for 2026. Digital assets are no longer classified as a special risk category. Iraq shuts down the second largest oil field, Rumaila, following the Strait of Hormuz closure. Iraq shuts down Rumaila, which produces 1.5 million barrels of oil per day. Officials warn of a 3 million barrel per day cut within 3 days if tankers cannot move freely. Qatar joined the war. Trump ended all trade with Spain for refusing to allow U.S. military base to use to attack Iran. I mean, it's our base. We should be able to use it what we want. Revenue. This is not good. In 2025, 25 data center projects were canceled due to community pushback. That's up from just 6 in 2024 and 2 in 2023. Opposition is notably bipartisan, driven overwhelmingly by one thing: rising electricity prices for local residents. Been talking about this for a while. In Q2 2025 alone, 20 projects were blocked or delayed, putting $98 billion in potential investment at risk. 2025 cancellations represented 4.7 gigawatts of lost electricity capacity. Using OpenAI's own estimate of revenue per gigawatt, about 10 billion revenue per gigawatt. Those cancellations represent 50 billion in lost AI revenue in a single year, applying a 20x earning multiple, and it's $1 trillion in lost enterprise value in 1 year. And it's not getting better. At least 99 data center projects are currently being contested nationwide. Historically, 40% of projects facing sustained opposition are eventually canceled. This means many more gigawatts, billions in revenue, and trillions in enterprise value are at risk if we don't turn this around. The core problem, as Chamath Palihapitiya sees it, local residents are being asked to subsidize AI infrastructure through higher electricity bills with no upside, and that's not a sustainable risk. He says until we solve the electricity cost equation, community opposition will remain a systemic and underpriced risk to the AI sector and the broader economy. Agreed 100%. Did you know that they made Sunny D vodka? Wild. Donald J. Trump, effective immediately, has ordered the United States Development Finance Corporation, or the DFC, to provide at a very reasonable price political risk insurance and guarantees for the financial security of all maritime trade, especially energy, traveling through the Gulf. This will be available to all shipping lines. If necessary, the United States Navy will begin escorting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz as soon as possible. No matter what, the United States will ensure the free flow of energy to the world. The United States' economic and military might is the greatest on earth. More actions to come. Thank you for attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. VeVe affiliates, there's a free digital comic offer now available. In addition to the $10 free gem offer, affiliate partners can now also promote our free digital comic, sign up and offer with their own custom link and new comic image assets. Link down below if you have not signed up for VeVe. Check your email for easy follow instructions. New users get a digital comic and get a free sign up. Affiliate commissions are earned when new users make their first purchase after receiving their comic. Good stuff. Again, link down below. Donald Trump says the Genius Act is being threatened and undermined by banks, and that is unacceptable. We're not going to allow it. The U.S. needs to get market structure done ASAP. Americans should earn more money on their money. Banks are hitting record profits, and we're not going to allow them to undermine our powerful crypto agenda that will end up going to China and other countries if we don't get the Clarity Act taken care of. The Genius Act was the USA's first big step to make the United States the crypto capital of the world, and getting the Clarity Act done is the next step to finish the job, and most importantly, keep this big and powerful industry in our country. The banks should not be trying to undercut the Genius Act or hold the Clarity Act hostage. They need to make a good deal with the crypto industry because that's what's in the best interest of the American people. This industry cannot be taken from the people of America when it is so close to becoming truly successful. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Trump warns crypto industry will end up going to China if banks don't stop. 1.4 million OMI burned on March 3rd. Huzzah. BlackRock ETF bought $264 million worth of Bitcoin on March 3rd as well. What's today? Today's the 5th. Tomorrow we have the NFT movie podcast from, at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I'll do another live at 8 p.m. like normal. And that's probably going to be it for me today. I'm going to do one more, count them, one more comic run through to see if anything here is of interest. It doesn't look like there is, at least not at the prices that I want. Anyway, that should be it for me today. Everyone please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm, and everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. Class dismissed. See you tomorrow. At 1 p.m. Be going live.